In the previous videos, it was mentioned that a person could take any and all divine laws and put them into 5 categories. In this video and the next, you'll see some additional perspectives regarding these 5 categories. Keep in mind, this will also serve as a setup video to be built upon. Let's take a moment and draw out a rough representation of the 5 categories and their associated principles that reside in it. Obviously, this is a simple representation. None of these markers are labeled, and there are many more principles than the number of markers shown. This is just for illustration purposes. Now, all of these are God's principles, and they all have a purpose which will be covered in the next video. But the first 3 categories make up the principles of the gospel, and we want to label that. Now we go to D&C 130-2021, where it says, "There is a law upon which all blessings are predicated, and when we obtain any blessing from God, it is by obedience to that law upon which it was predicated." So when we consider the reach of that scripture, we'll take into account the full array of principles across the spectrum. That means that when any son or daughter of God follows any principle correctly, they will receive the associated blessing. And in this way, God is able to bless all of his children all of the time in one way or another, regardless of who they are and where they've been. Whether they're in the restored gospel or not, whether they're a good person or not, whether they're fast or slow, it doesn't matter. There's always some law on this spectrum that they are keeping which enables him to bless them. And isn't that exactly what a loving heavenly parent would want? To be able to reach all of his children at any given time to comfort them when they are away from home? Isn't that what we want with ours, when we have that chance? Having left our celestial home to gain a body and progress in ways we could not have there, and wanting us to make it back, and knowing what we would all go through here, he has set it up where he can still bless us along our entire journey at any given point. Even though we may be fighting with each other, or not talking to one another, or have chosen to turn our back on God himself, he still cares, and in this way maintains a connection point with each person. It gives a whole new perspective to the scripture, God is love. While the world withholds things from us when we fall short, the Lord looks for areas where he can lift us up. When one considers the full spectrum of principles, everyone has principles they excel at and struggle with, and principles they don't even know yet. And because of that, no one is above another, for we all have different strengths and weaknesses. None of us have all of them down, save the Lord himself. So in this way, we all have something we can share, and we can all learn something from each person. Now, of course, the amount of blessings we receive is up to us. The more laws we seek to understand and apply, the more blessings we receive. And we have the power to make that choice. So the hope is that this understanding and perspective invokes a personal desire and drive in each of us to seek out and learn as many laws or principles as possible, and to have those blessings heaped upon us and our posterity. In the next video, we will discuss the power of joining principles together. You can find the link in the description below, as well as links to the other videos about this and our stake website.